Welcome back to another episode of Rob Sports Center, man. Just like in the previous video, I told you I was going to be coming back with another football, one-on-one situational football from the same game, the Super Bowl 49 Seahawks versus the Patriots. Now, this is the Seahawks, this ain't even 2-minute offense, bro. Like, they got, 30, how many seconds it is? 31 seconds on the clock. They got 3 timeouts. It was a touchback, so the ball is moved to the 20. So now you have to really work magic to be able to go down there. Now, granted, you do have a mobile quarterback, in Russell Wilson. So when you have a mobile quarterback, the possibilities are a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a little bit more possible to happen because guess what? If the coverage is good on the back end, especially man coverage with the defense back turned to the quarterback, he could take off running for a 10-yard gain, a 15-yard gain. And then with Russell Wilson, elusiveness, it's not that you can't take away from the fact that he might even break a tackle and have a longer run than that. So the first play, you look at the Patriots. The Patriots kind of had a pretty light box. I mean, they had, 6 in the box. You got 4 down linemen. And then you got 2 linebackers. So that's 6 guys in the box. And then the Seahawks only had 5 in the box, which was 5 offensive linemen. Now I'll take that back. Was it? Yeah, I think it was. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, I think it was 5 offensive linemen, and then a tight end, or 4 offensive linemen and a tight end. So it was 5 on 6. So you had Chandler Jones, number 95, who was open, or who was free possibly to be able to make a play on the running back. Because he was the only one that was unblocked. If you see right here, he's going to be the one at the top of the screen right there. Boom. There's nobody blocking him. So he kind of, was patient and kind of allowed it to go up front opposed to trying to crash down too fast and end up getting beat on the outside, because if he gives up the outside, then that's a pretty big run. And it was a pretty big run here. So this was the first play, 1st and 10. And then they obviously we're running the ball opposed to with the Patriots. You see the Patriots, a lot of their stuff was passing and it was out. It was out routes. It was catch the ball, go out of bounds, so we don't have to waste any timeouts. But with Seahawks, the Seahawks was carving them up, running the ball, so they ran it straight up the middle. First play, 19 yards. And, I ain't going to say unfortunately they had to use a timeout, but they had to use a timeout to slow the clock down, to stop the clock from running. And that's kind of one of the only downsides to running the ball, is that you have to use those timeouts. But when you're confident in your success running the ball in this particular game, like the Seahawks did have early on in that game with success running the ball, then, you're willing to chance it on that. So the very next possession, they ran a few seconds off the clock and went from 31 to 24. And you seen the previous play. So I got to correct one thing on the previous play. So on the previous play, you see right here on this play, you had Chandler Jones crash down on the running back and Jamie Collins came and took the quarterback. So on the previous play, I think that Chandler Jones was the only outside safety. So he had to play the play similar to exactly how he played it, because we had to be disciplined in how we play option teams. So the thing about option teams, like what the Seahawks was running, those read options, you have 2 threats of mobility or 2 threats of a runner when you have him handing the ball off to the running back, and then you also have him faking the ball to the running back and keeping the ball himself. So regardless if the quarterback takes the handoff or regardless if the quarterback hands the ball off, we have to be disciplined in our assignments and understand that regardless, we have to take what we take. So if my responsibility is the running back, I have to take the running back. And then once I identify that the running back no longer is the ball carrier, now I can react from there and try to go get the ball carrier, which would be the quarterback, and vice versa if you take the quarterback and the running back gets the ball. So you have to be disciplined here like that. So on this play right here, Chandler Jones crashes and he takes the running back. So now Jamie Collins comes and takes the quarterback. Like I said, with Russell Wilson, he's very elusive. In space, it's very difficult. Now, granted, the situation, I think fatigue could have played a part into it as well, because, like I said, the Seahawks was having a lot of success with moving the ball on the Patriots on the ground. So I think that having it, clanging and banging like that, the first half kind of had him a little fatigued and a little sloppy in their technique, and he misses the tackle. If he makes this tackle, that's why I say that when we speak about situational football, it works for both sides. So even if we're saying, okay, the Seahawks right now, we're reviewing what they're doing in 2 minute in their 2-minute offense, quote unquote, even though it was less than 2 minutes, right? So we're not just gonna highlight things that they done. We're gonna highlight areas of opportunity that the defense might have had to slow down that and to stop the 2-minute offense. So if Jamie Collins makes this tackle, he makes this tackle for one in the backfield, and then he makes them burn another timeout. So now you're sitting with a tackle for a loss, maybe second and 12, second and 13, long yardage. You lose time off the clock, and then you lose a timeout. Now you go from two timeouts now to one timeout just that fast. With that little bit of time, now the offense becomes very limited on what they can do, and they become very predictable. But he missed the tackle. Russell Wilson was able to get shake free from him, get the first down, and then get out of bounds. So now you're still sitting with two timeouts left. So on this first down play right here, Russell Wilson motions the running back out the backfield and sends him out wide, and that lets you know that they're in man-to-man coverage. So it's similar to on the Patriots 2-minute drive whenever they ran the touchdown pass to Gronk from Tom Brady against KJ Wright. It was the same thing. Once you see that a linebacker is matched up on the outside the numbers with a running back or a tight end, that pretty much lets you know that that's that is man-to-man coverage, right? So now the thing about the Patriots are pretty solid when it comes to defensive backs. At this time you have Brandon Browner, you got Darrelle Reeves, you got Devin McCourty, I think you got Patrick Jones. So you got some guys that can hold their own for the most part in those one-on-one matchups right here. So obviously when you're in an empty backfield with just a quarterback, you know that you don't have all day. Now granted, it don't look like they look like they only sent a 4-man rush. And they said they dropped Jamie Collins back as a spy to take care of Russell Wilson if he takes off running. So one of the things you always hear Coach Belichick talk about is don't run past the quarterback. Don't run past the quarterback. And he's talking about from the edge rusher. So what he means by that. So let's just say, hypothetically speaking, that on either side, whether it's Chandler Jones or whether that's on my likes Rob Ninkovich, if they rush past trying to get to Russell Wilson and the offensive lineman is able to kind of push them past the quarterback, once the quarterback steps up now, he has nothing but room to run. Now, here's the chess match with it, and here's those adjustments within that. So opposed to sending a blitz and sending an extra rusher, you believe in the strength of you're confident in your guys up front rushing forward. So now you drop Jamie Collins back as a spy because we know that Russell Wilson has the ability to hurt us running the ball, as we seen on the previous play. It was a design run opposed to this one, but nevertheless, he can hit you whether it's an on-script or off-script run play. So you have to always take that into consideration. And the Patriots did a very good job at playing this play, but then I think Russell Wilson also did a good job at showing his maturity and his understanding for the game to realize that, hey man, if it's not nothing there, let me not try to force something. We got 2 timeouts left, so if it's nothing there, let me not take no risk. Let me not get no intentional grounding call, and we lose a down, and we lose a timeout. Let's not do none of that. Let me just get rid of the ball and live to fight another day, which he did on this play. So right here on this play, man, you got one of those gotta have it moments, that's famously quoted by Coach Belichick, those gotta have it moments, those gotta have it situations. So right here, I recorded it from this angle, that way you guys can kind of see the route that was ran, because without this angle, you couldn't really see exactly what he ran. Like, it looked like the Patriots were in a single high look on this play, meaning that they had one safety deep, and I think there might have been McCourty that they had deep. So he was so deep that he was out of frame, and I seen the route that Ricardo Lockett ran because he lined up on the outside. Now, he wasn't on the outside numbers. Now, here's a quick tip for those who may not know, and even if you're a DB, if you look at Ricardo Lockett, he's lined up on the outside, but he's not lined up deep outside. So where he's lined up at is kind of a little bit on the outside of the numbers. Now, what that does is it gives him a two-way go. He has a go to be able to go inside. He has a go to be able to go outside. Now, if he used to line up on outside the numbers, most of what he's running either is going to be deep or it's going to be a in-breaking route because he has the sideline working against him. So the closer he lines up towards the closer he lines up, more so inside shaded towards the numbers, it gives him a lot of different varieties of what he can do. But on this play right here, man, you have a 2nd and 10, the incompletion on the previous play, 11 seconds. And I mean, they just win a matchup. Like I said, New England was in a single high look. That probably was a deep cover one. It looks like they left a spy on Russell Wilson with Jamie Collins like they did on the previous play too, to take away from the threat of him running the ball. But then you kind of got to know the down and distance and the situation. Granted, Seahawks do have 2 timeouts, but you kind of figure that anything that they done would have been working towards the sideline to either get out of bounds or, and if they don't get out of bounds, they still have a timeout to use. And on this play right here, and they actually got extra yards tacked on after this too, with the holding right there from Ayrton on Lockett. So, they got the completion and the holding. Well, the face mask gave them some additional yardage now. So they're in prime position to put up points before they go into halftime. So this right here was just high level execution, man. For one, from both teams, from New England on their 2-minute offense and then the Seahawks with their 2-minute offense, man, it was very minimal error on either side. It was just high level execution. So you look at this drive started at the 20-yard line. It was a touchback. They had 31 seconds left and they had 3 timeouts, and they were able to drive the ball the length of the field and only use 2 timeouts and just high level execution, man. It's like everything was a positive. I think that on this drive, they might have had 1 incompletion, and that was Russell Wilson throwing the ball away. So look right here. This is a risky shot right here, though, because guess what? Well, the thing is this. We have to understand the situation. So we have 6 seconds left. So we don't have time to try to do a very deep drop back. We got to drop back quick, and we got to let the ball go. Because if we don't get this completion, we still want to be able to either have another shot at the end zone or at least get a field goal. So once again, execution has to be high level. So you got Chris Matthews matched up on, I think that's Logan Ryan, number 26. And Chris Matthews was a mismatch nightmare for the Patriots, because I don't think that they put too much into studying him, because I don't think that there was a lot of film on him out there up until the Super Bowl. So he was giving them hell the first half up until the second half when they decided to put Brandon Browner on him. So in this play right here, man, once again, like I said, you got 6 seconds left. You only got 1 shot in the end zone, and we got to make sure we capitalize on it. And they do a very good job at understanding the situation and executing. Russell Wilson puts the ball to where only Chris Matthews can get it, being a 6'3", 6'4" receiver, and he just kind of back shoulders it to a degree, and he goes up, make a strong catch, secure the catch, and then come down with the touchdown, capping off a 80-yard touchdown score with 31 seconds left. Like, watching this game live, I didn't think that the Seahawks were going to be able to drive that ball the length of the field to put up points, and they did. But like I say, man, it just was high-level execution, very minimal mistakes. And we have to understand, too, that the previous play with Ricardo Lockett, where I think that was Ayrton had grabbed his face mask, that gave them additional yardage, took that play as well, so it put them in prime position. But going back into what I was saying, that's just like on both sides. They had plays New England did defensively to minimize and to stop the touchdown from that 2-minute offense. And it was the same thing with the Seahawks. I think it was a little bit, well, you can say the same thing with the Seahawks, but more so, I feel like the Patriots had several opportunities to be able to kind of minimize it. And just for whatever reason, one thing led to another, and they just didn't capitalize. It could have been fatigue, and it could have just been even better execution from the offense on what the defense was doing, you know. So, but man, like I said, I got more of these videos coming to show you guys, you know, the phases of a football game. You know, a lot of times we focus so much on just offense, defense, and we don't pay attention to special teams. We don't pay attention to situational football, having to drive the ball 20 yards down the field with 31 seconds left. We don't pay attention to enough of those things, because a lot of times those things are the differences between games won and lost, especially in the National Football League, because the level of the margin for error is so small. But man, if you did enjoy this video, do me a big favor, man. Smash that thumbs up button. Also, if you're new to the channel, man, and you enjoy football content like this one, I have several other videos as well. I have player evaluations. I got more breakdowns like this coming up. I got commentary, I got game predictions, everything, especially with the season coming up, man. So if you enjoy football, man, you're on the right channel. Make sure you subscribe. When you subscribe, click that notification bell where you'll be notified every time I upload, and I'll see y'all in the next video.